Hello everyone, my name is NewFlowerGirl, but you can call me Demi, and welcome back to another Aftertalk video. Today we are having our first double Aftertalk video of 2023. And we're going to be talking about the Australian Grand Prix for the Formula 1 and the Argentina Grand Prix for the MotoGP. And let's just say, both had kind of the same conditions throughout the entire weekend. Just the sessions were different weather conditions. And also I got to cross off another slot on my bingo card. In case you guys didn't know, I have a bingo card made for this season. As you can see, I crossed off another thing, and that's basically red flag due to track conditions. And I'll explain that in a bit. So we're going to go in order of when the races happened. So we're going to start with Formula 1 because that started at 6 AM UK time. Because they're in Down Under, as they call it. Right, so Down Under, Australia. This has to be one of the most chaotic races I've ever seen in my entire life. Holy crap. Basically, P20 to all the way up to P13 all got DNFs. And the last last four didn't happen until basically the last points in time. There were 3 red flags. Yes, you heard me right. 3 red flags. First one was for Alexander Albon, and that was because that also made me cross off the first or the second. So on my bingo card. Basically what happened was he went onto the track. He threw gravel onto the track after he was in a crash. This wasn't the first DNF of this race. The first one was Charles Leclerc, and his race lasted not even 3 corners. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah. Then Albon crashed out, and the barriers were basically damaged. So they had to fix it. There was gravel on the track. That was the reason why they called the red flag. And I understand it because gravel, it is sharp and it can cause punctures, which leads to even more crashes and even more safety cars, and probably people ending up into the hospital. So they did that for safety reasons. Then George Russell's engine said, I'm hot. I'm burning like a silver flame. Oh my god. That's actually funny because Mercedes is called Silver Arrows. Oh my god. I just made a joke and it's not funny, I think. Do you guys think it's funny? Let me know. But yeah, his engine basically caught fire. And it was not a tiny fire, it wasn't like a match fire, you know, like from lighting a match. It was actually a campfire fire. Yeah, it was hard. He was okay, was able to get out of the car, and it was extinguished. Then the second red flag came, and that was by the name of Kevin Magnussen. He made a mistake and hit the barriers coming out of turn 2, and he basically lost the entire rubber side, the entire rubber parts of his tire. Like, I don't know what it's called, but basically what it's attached to the axles, that was still on the car. Everything else flew off. All the rubber, like the wheels, it flew off. And basically it was only like 3 laps to go. So, yeah. And then they went over to start finish, and then it was like ultimately 1 lap to go, really. So it was like 1 lap. Then craziness started to happen, and Carlos Sainz was the cause of the accident. Well, basically what he did, he tagged Fernando Alonso, and that basically caused a chain of events. Pierre Gasly was almost inside of Carlos Sainz's gearbox, so he had to run wide, whereas I don't know what the heck he was doing, probably just cutting some grass, because you know it's a Honda, and Honda are also lawnmowers, so yeah. But yeah, Gasly ended up into the mix where everyone was mingling, and he unfortunately collided with his teammate. I have read an article that Gasly came and apologized to Ocon, and it was all good. Gasly has not yet received a penalty at point of me recording it, which is April the 3rd, on the Monday. But yeah, we still don't know, but I feel like by now Gasly would have received a penalty if so. If he does receive a penalty, he won't be racing at the end of April, because that's when the next race is. He's got so many penalty points that every small mistake is a race ban for him. Yeah. Basically, anyway, after that, because of like all the chaos that started there, Sargent punted Nick de Vries, and they went shooting into the gravel trap. And then Lance Stroll at turn 3, he went off as well. He managed to stay out of the barriers, so yeah. Fernando Alonso was able to get going, and then they called another red flag, and for some stupid reason the FIA decided to just keep going with the race after that. So the race was basically set a lap before that, so it was lap 57 of 58, and as soon as they went out of the pit lane it was 58 of 58, so then they just finished the race on the safety car conditions. So yeah, because of what Carlos Sainz did, he got a penalty. And there has been an explanation as to why it all happened like this. So, Max Verstappen, he is the winner, by the way. Didn't tell you guys yet, but he's the race winner. He was leading at the time as well. He had not yet completed Sector 1. And by the time the red flag came. So then it was set back. The results were set back to the first previous reference point, which was start finish. But the crash did happen. What Sainz did, it had already happened. So that's why he gained a 5-second time penalty. And I'm starting to understand how it works. So basically, if you hit someone, basically fluff up their race, but they are able to get going, you get 5 seconds. But if you fluff someone's race up and they're basically ultimately out of the race, then you get 10 seconds. I feel like that's how it works. Yeah, I think that's how it works. Anyway, are there any other things? Yes. Nico Hülkenberg, P7, but Haas is not happy with that. They've actually filed a protest because he was P4 and the results were taken from start finish from where he was P7. Well, I'm sorry, mate, but that's just the way it is. Oscar Piastri, home Grand Prix. He did an amazing job, man. He did a great job. He made a couple of sick moves on a couple of people. One of them was on Yuki Tsunoda. And he finished P8. He finished P8, which means his first ever points in Formula 1 and a sick ass home Grand Prix. He got 4 points, and that's basically brought McLaren off the 0 score. Lando Norris in P6 got 8 points. So that's 12 points for McLaren now. They're off the mark. Yuki Tsunoda actually got a point as well. But if you take the timesheets from when they all came over the finish line, without the penalty implied, Carlos Sainz was 4th. He was basically last man when the penalty was implied, so he was P12. Yeah. Craziness. Perez started from the pit lane. P5. And basically right now, to Lewis Hamilton, this exact phrase implies. To anyone who thought I left, I never left. I just stepped out. He got another flippin' podium. And you know what I love about Melbourne? About the fans there? No matter what driver gets an interview, they're always cheering. And I love that. I miss that. Because, you go to Silverstone, Max is on pole, and all he gets is booing. And, on Zandvoort, it's not as much as when Lewis gets interviewed, unless he makes, a horrible comment towards Max. But if he makes, a comment towards Max, oh, he did a great job getting this pole. I couldn't beat him. He was better than me. Then he gets cheers, because, he admits that he was slower, Yeah, Aston Martin was doing great as well, P3 and P4. And I thought Alonso was gonna win. Yeah. Ferrari 0 score. Alpine 0 score. Williams 0 score. Yeah. Mercedes not so much, 0 score, 18 score. But anyway, I've been going on about 13 minutes of Formula 1, but it's time to go to the other race classes. Moto3! It was raining! Yeah. It was a crazy race. There was one guy as a replacement. Where was he in the timesheets? It was not Osman. Where's number 92? Almanza. He was replacing Mr. Joel Kelso after his crash in Portugal. So the retirements here were Ayumu Sasaki, Mario Surio Agi, Hyoma Masia, and Ricciardo Rossi. Now Ricciardo Rossi actually went to the Med Center because I don't know, he had pain. But it was looking as if he was getting podium. There were a few other crashes of a couple of other people, but they were able to continue. Dennis Onshu was one of them. David Munoz, my 2 favorites. No. Who else? Oh, Xavier Artigas. And that's it. Another podium for Diogo Moreira, P2 this time. 3rd, Andrea Migno. We thought he left, but he never left. And the winner was Tatsuki Suzuki, Honda. We thought they left, but they never left in Moto3. Yeah. Yeah, Colin Fire, P22. It was raining condition, alright? Then again, he finished behind a woman. That's pretty horrible. Anna Carrasco P21, Colin Via P22. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's just the rainy conditions or just because of the atmosphere, of like the air, because that's what can also affect the drivability of bikes and cars. But yeah, Joshua Watley with the final point. Winner of last race, Daniel Holgado P4. Not bad. Anyway, let's just say this weekend was pretty bad for the Dutchies. Bobet Schneider P22 and Zonta P18. Yeah. Zonta actually finished the highest of the lowlands, as they call it in the Netherlands, because Barry Bouts is P19. The retirements, there are not many retirements, but they just retired. Like, they didn't crash or anything. It was Sean Lennon Kelly, David Sanchez, and Rory Skinner. The last point went to Fermin Aldeguer. Darren Minder, P6, sorry. Pedro Acosta, P12. He started from pretty low. Jake Dixon, P3. This is not an April Fool's joke, and I hope people didn't take it as an April Fool's joke, but on April the 1st, he became a dad. He became a dad to a beautiful baby girl. Yeah. And her name is Summer Dixon. Summer Rose Dixon. Yeah. It's a lovely name. P2, Alonso Lopez. We're not going to talk too much about him after what he did in Portugal. And the winner is Tony Arbolino. We got to listen to the Italian national anthem. Samkhya Chandra P8 and Vietti P13. Yeah. Right, let's keep going. So, a lot's happened here. Right now, there are only 17 of the 22 drivers able to race, because they all have had some kind of injury. I do have some positive news on Pol Espargaro. He is progressing forward, so he is on the way to return, and I'm super happy. Yeah, so during the sprint race, we should do that as well, because there was a sprint race. Yes, there it is. So, 2 retirements in the sprint race. Aleix Espargaro and Juan Mir. Now, remember that name Juan Mir, because he actually crashed that hard that he had to go to the med center, and they declared him unfit due to head and neck trauma. But there were no fractures in his ankles, which, you know, it's good, but the head and neck trauma, not so much. So 5 drivers down, and by the race in Assen, by the summer break, which will be Kazakhstan, there will be probably like 10 drivers left. Hopefully not, but like still. Yeah, Quartararo the final point, because P9 is the final point in the sprint race. Podium was not quite Italian. Brad Binder from South Africa. And then the 2 Muni Ducatis of Marco Bezzecchi and Luca Marini. Francesco Minaya, we find him on P6, and the pole man, hold on, Alex Marquez, P5. Man just got pole position. His first of his entire career. My throat's getting a bit dry, so I'm gonna have to hurry up. Yeah, I need to drink something real quick. I've got the time. Alright, so, the podium here during the main race was basically a mixed match. It's a beautiful podium though. There were no retirements, only a couple of crashes, but they were able to continue. Bradman and Francesco Bagnaia, no points for them. Because Alex Spargo in P15 got final points. It is nice to see the other Hondas of Alex Rins and Takaki Nakagami perform well. It's nice to see that the poleman got a podium. Marc Marquez at home actually celebrated this. P2 we had a Frenchman. I was hoping that wasn't going to happen. P2 was a Frenchman, but you would not expect this Frenchman to be on the podium. You would think it would be Fabio Quartararo, but no, it was Johann Zarco with an amazing move. The winner was Marco Bezzecchi, his first ever win in the MotoGP, and also the first ever victory for Muni Ducati, and the first victory on the Argentina Termas de Rio Hondo for Ducati. That's a lot of first times. Oh my god. Also, first time podium for Alex Marquez with Ducati. There are like 3 different Ducatis on the podium, and it's not the factory Ducati of Francesco Bagnaia. That's insane that basically like the B teams are better than the A team. Okay. Yeah. That's it, guys. I feel like it is not completely done because I've got something saved on my Instagram. So I'm going to go over to my Instagram. I'm on the covers. Oh my god. Luckily I know my passwords. Right, there we go. Profile. Saved. So basically what I have here is the Australian Grand Prix photo dump. Okay, my webcam is still doing. So here we have Alonso and Fernando. Lewis. Just stretching, don't worry. He's just stretching. Spectator George. Because he was out. Charles and the Just an Incident shirt. That is a meme from Charles. When he was younger, he had an accident with MAXX during karting, and Charles just commented on it like as a little kid, like nothing, just an incident. It was so funny, and people have just they've just made it a meme. Oscar's signed tweet. So this is basically a tweet that he tweeted out after Alpine basically said like, yeah, Oscar's driving for us next year. So basically it says, understand that without my agreement, Alpine F1 have put out a press release late this afternoon that I'm driving for them next year. This is wrong, and I have not signed a contract with Alpine for 2023. I will not be driving for Alpine next year. Now, someone actually printed this out, but they didn't follow him. That's bad. That is bad. That they don't follow him. They didn't follow him. That's really bad. I'm gonna comment on that, on it later. Yeah. B4, B3. Nothing more to be said about that. Lewis, MAXX, Fernando, podium. And, of course, Lewis is getting all the spray down in his neck. Lovely jubbly. I mean, it's hot there, so. We've got a jumping George here. And a chaotic restart, so, blah, blah, blah. I can't get out of my words. Sargent, De Vries, Alonso, there is Ocon, that is Mr. Gasly, there's Perez, Max is like probably like somewhere over here. Here we have Sir Lewis Hamilton, and there we have Mr. Smooth Operator. He done a smooth job. And that's Lando. Yeah. Crazy. And that was also the last photo. So yeah, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then please hit the like button. Also, consider subscribing if you don't want to miss anything about all of this chaotic stuff. But that's it from me for now, and I shall see you guys in another video.